What's up, everyone? So, first of all, I'd like to thank you for watching this video, and this is part 2 of the 5-part series for the tiger tattoo tutorial. Now, in this video, I'll be working on the mouth area, so that includes the teeth, tongue, some parts of the chin, and then some facial hairs. In this video, I'll be giving 5 tips particular in doing this part of the tiger tattoo. So the 5 tips is mainly focused on the mouth area of the tiger when you're doing the tattoo. It will be given along the way as I do the tattoo. So make sure to watch the full video. So for tip number 1, slowly build your shade. At this stage, we have already identified your dark tone, mid-tone, and light tone. So when working on the mouth area, after you've applied the dark shades or the dark tones, you now move to creating the mid-tones and the light tones. And the way, for me, this is just my opinion, okay? The way I do it is I do it gradually and slowly, okay? Don't try to rush it, because at the end it'll be easier for you to adjust the darkness. What I mean is make the light shade darker than doing it dark and then wanting to make it light. It's more difficult to lighten the dark shades. And also, I'll be putting a link for the first video for part 1 on the description box below. So if you want to see the first part for your reference, then feel free to check the video. Okay, so for tip number 2, avoid doing lines. Remember, this is a realism piece. So for this particular tattoo, we want our tiger to look as realistic as possible. And the best way for you to do that is to avoid doing line works. Now, there are times that you need to use lines or you need to put lines in this part of the tattoo, I mean, how I do it is I try to keep it at a minimum. So the moment you use lines in this particular area, for me, it's gonna stand out because it's gonna look too bold and too sharp. So if you can, just avoid using lines. All right. For tip number 3, work your way towards the center. So if you can see my previous videos, this is how I always do it. So from the bottom, I work my way up. From the side, I work my way towards the center. So I think it's one of the best practices in any sort of tattoo that you're doing, but for this particular for this tiger tattoo, it is very important to use this technique. That way you don't mess up the stencil, and that way the stencil stays intact. Okay, it keeps its integrity, which is very important because you don't want to miss out on the details. Okay, so for tip number 4, whip shading. As I've said, the tips that I'm giving out, this is based on this particular tattoo that we're doing right now, which is the tiger tattoo. And I've done quite a lot of tiger tattoos since I work in a tattoo shop setting where, I think tiger tattoos is one of the most commonly requested tattoos, aside from koi fish, aside from portraits. And I found out that the best approach when you're doing the fine hair or the fine lines for the tiger's facial hair is the whip shading technique. So you can see here how I do the whip shade. Just light and soft, light and soft. That's it. Don't rush it because it's not gonna look natural. Just do it as light as you can and as soft as you can, gradually building your shades. Okay, so for tip number 5, it's one area at a time. So before jumping into the eyes, the ears of the tiger, finish a particular area first. So in this case, I've already finished doing the chin area with the hair. I've also finished doing the lips, the lower lips. And then I went on to do the tongue and the upper lips, and then the nose. So do it in such a way that you don't skip, you don't jump and to other areas, because sometimes we get excited in doing, a particular spot in the tattoo. Like in my case, I always like to do the eyes. And sometimes I rush other areas just so that I can do the eyes already. That's what I used to do years and years before, like jump in to my favorite spot. Like when I do portraits, I jump into the eyes, I jump into the lips. And in doing so, oftentimes I compromise the stencil. I compromise the integrity of the stencil. So that's one of the most important things that I've learned. Just do it one step at a time. So in this particular tattoo, I made sure that most of the areas are finished before I jump into another area. And you can see that in this video. So obviously I made a few touches on the hair. That's just so that I put a marker on which areas have dark hair for this tiger tattoo. Alright. I hope you picked something up from the tips that I've given. And if you have questions, just feel free to type it down in the comment section below. And I'll be happy to answer them for you. Also, if you're happy about the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It will really mean so much to me. And thank you so much for watching and enjoy the rest of the video.